What's Pappy up to? All right, we're gonna get this turbocharger back into the diesel 6.0 2007 Ford, and I'll also show you some of that ducting as promised in the first video. Here we go. First thing we're gonna look at is this bracket that the turbocharger bolts to. Right where my hand is where the two main bolts that go across. There's just two, and then those legs have 4 bolts that hold it kind of down in the valley. Had to take it out to put in a new oil tube in anyways, and also you leave that bracket loose as you install the turbocharger. Here's the tube. It's an upgraded tube, got the O-ring on it. Once we get the O-ring on it, bracket over the top of it. Like I said, we cleaned it all out down there. There's the up pipe where I was reaching around behind. You couldn't even see the V-band clamp back there. And there's the down pipe, which was a little more out in the open, and you saw that from the beginning. Just wanted to point those out to you. All right, there you can see the bracket's in, and we're lubing the tube up. By the way, leave that bracket loose, just the bolt started. Makes a big difference in getting this thing shoved down in there and in place and getting everything to line up. So first thing we're actually gonna work on is, once we get it in there, is that back V-band clamp from the up pipe. It's the hardest one, kind of get in position and get clamped. I had the clamp already on the pipe, so now it's just a matter of getting it in there, and then again reach around from behind. I use my air ratchet in this case, and then just zip that nut tight. Eventually make sure it's good and tight and the clamp is seated, and then we'll get the other clamp around front. And there's that one that you can see that's right out in the open. A lot easier, and honestly, once you get that clamp on, it's just a matter of putting things together. Here's a jump forward. There's the pipe that goes down, the blue boot. I replaced both those with one on each end. And then the next thing is to try to get this inlet duct portion done. You see a little green O-ring? It's very important. And you'll see, actually, otherwise you get a pretty leaky mess. As a matter of fact, take a look. That big mess is there because there's the O-ring laying there. So good to have that O-ring in place, and takes care of a lot of problems and gets that mess cleaned up. Yep. This is a bit of a wrestling match, and I've got that plastic piece along the top of the firewall installed at this point, so it's kind of in my way. I probably could have waited on that. But used a cotter pin remover to manipulate the two ends. Finally got it in place after some wrestling. Tightened down the clamp, and then it's not easy. Next thing is to get the air filter in, which also is a monstrosity. You'll see it actually has the nozzle is all one piece actually at this point. I got it out, but trying to get it back in. I wrestle around with it with the cold air inlet nozzle on the front there, the air filter, and it's just so big, including pull that antifreeze line out. In the end, I just decided I'm putting it in without the front nozzle, which even that is a bit of a wrestling match, but you get it down in place, get the clamps on, get the tubing on, and there are some connectors, electrical connector and pneumatic line, actually filter. That piece there actually checks the filter to let you know what the condition is. And then just tighten that down. Last thing to do is just get that antifreeze line back on, and then kind of check everything out and see how it looks. Let's hear this thing run. All right, well there it is. Turbocharger's in, and I actually have driven this since then, and it does have some goose. You can see I also had this thing in pieces, which I had done glow plug harness, and got this truck back to like new. It has got some power now, and I like it. If you're thinking about doing it, do it.